but I waited a long time and I bought this outfit today. Alright, my turn. Wait, I gotta push this up because I need my nose. Alright. Good afternoon. What? Good evening. Speaking of that, I'm sort of skipping ahead. You see, y'all making me skip ahead. One thing I learned from Father Mark is that, see, in the country, we don't learn a lot of things from the city folks that go to those good schools over there. Was that one time he asked us, I'm all off my nose. One time he called me up and he said, hey, can we do dinner next weekend? And I said, sure, okay. I said, well, I can't do Friday or Saturday. He says, okay, well, Sunday. I said, great, we could do dinner Sunday. 12 o'clock came around, Father didn't show up. 1 o'clock came around, I'm like, Stephen, he said he was coming for dinner. He showed up at 6 o'clock for supper. We don't call 12 o'clock dinner. I mean, dinner is 12 o'clock, not 6 o'clock. So we didn't have any food. But anyway, when Father Mark first came, I realized that priests are just like regular human beings too. Alright? Just like any other human being, we need somebody to talk to every now and then. To get it out, you know, an outlet. Well, it was just my luck, I was the pick of the litter. I digress, he talks to all kinds of people. But with that being said, there are things I'm going to tell you right now I cannot reveal. So don't ask. Got you covered. Alright, I was first introduced to him at his favorite mass, 5 o'clock Sundays, by Miss Diana Cantillo. Which was sort of unusual. And I was saying my prayers, kneeling down, and all of a sudden somebody tapped me on my shoulder, and it was Miss Diana. And she said, Kate, come on, I want to introduce you to the new priest that's here. And I'm like, man, why me? I'm not befriending. I had 2 tears, I'm sorry. Hey, you don't go to 2. I said, I don't want to be friends with any more priests, because they just send them away like Father Michael, you know. So I'm walking back there thinking, let me go meet this new priest. When I got there, he turned around and I was like, saw those blue eyes, I'm like, oh God, we in trouble now. Nobody in this parish is gonna go crazy. And I'm gonna be honest with you. After that, when I would see women, and the lady would say, man, you saw the new priest, he's so good looking. I would tell him, stop that, that's a sin, you can't be talking about a priest like that. Just go to hell. Back to my pew, said my prayers. Don't want to be friends with priests. There's enough already with one. So, several months later, we had the luncheon football game, and here comes Father Mark walking up the stadium all by himself. You know, he was still quiet back then. That was at the beginning, the early stages. And we were sitting, Tessa's sitting by the poche seats and aisle seats, and I said, you know, he walked up and said, hey, Father Mark, you remembered me? My name's Kate. I said, why don't you sit here with us? Because the week before, he sat further down, all by himself. I don't know if Mr. Leon's in here, but Mr. Leon Keller was not talking to him because he was watching the football game. Poor Paul was just sitting there by himself. I said, sit here with us. Sit here with us, and we can talk to you, you know, keep it company. Well, that was the beginning of numerous dead cow dinners that Stephen and I had to bring to. So, be careful when you're being a good Samaritan. Just, you know, never know. They don't leave. Anyway, page 2, I have 6 pages. Alright. Little did I know that once our friendship began, I would no longer need my internal conscience. I didn't need the little man inside telling me what was a sin or what was wrong, because he became my conscience. Whenever I would fail to wake up on Wednesday mornings for the 5:55 a.m. Mass. By 6:32, he was already texting me to let me know I missed Mass. I know I missed Mass. I was sleeping late. They got a 5:15 Wednesday afternoon. No, he would tell me, so I knew that. Same thing, if I said a curse word, he let me know. If I would tell a story about something I did long ago that I was already forgiven for, he would let me know. He got so good at being my conscience that when I actually would sin, I'd call him up and say, hey, I just sinned. I would try to text him and tell him he didn't let that count as confession. He doesn't believe in text confession. Which is a good thing. Okay. Now one of the very first lessons I learned about the difference maybe between priests and lay people is that what is the difference of stretching the truth? See, when we stretch the truth, it's called a lie, and it's a sin. But I've learned that when they stretch the truth, I think it might be called a white-collar lie. And I don't think it's actually a sin, because let me tell you the story. When we met him at first, and we all talked, and I introduced him to a bunch of my friends, we have our Pokino group. He wanted to know what was a Pokino group. I said, well, we play cards every month, even though we don't really play cards. We get together, we eat, we drink, we crochet. Good time. So he wanted to come to one of our parties, and we were very apprehensive. We didn't want a priest to come to our party. After numerous reminders to invite him, we finally gave in. And I told him, I said, all right, here's the date, and the time, 7 p.m., Father. And I told him, don't worry. He's going to get there at 7 o'clock. He's going to be so tired by 8:30. He's going to go home. We feed him. He's going to leave. We can play till 10 o'clock. So we invite him over to Mary Ellen's house. 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock, no fall. I don't know. I told him to come. I don't know, 8:30, 8:40. He shows up. He walks in. He goes, oh, yeah, I knew it was the house. He could hear us from outside. Okay. So we laugh and we talk and we like, oh, boy, your first Pokino party, Father. Isn't it great? Stand up, we're going to take a group picture. So we took a group picture, the whole 12 of us, sort of like the disciples. Huh? I just thought it out when I was so we took the picture, Father and the 12 ladies, and we said, your first Pokino party, Father. We're so proud to have you. All right, goodbye. So, he leaves, all right? He didn't eat, he wasn't hungry. Yeah. So we said, he ate, all right, maybe he ate. So I had 2 beers. All right. So then he left, and we all, we're proud. We did a good thing. We made him happy. He came to the first Pokino party in his entire life. Boy, what a great day for him and us, good Samaritans again. Well, the next day, Mary Ellen goes to work. Coach Tim pays Mary Ellen a visit. Hey, man, how was your Pokino party? She said, oh, it was good. Yeah, Father Mark went? Mm-hmm. How do you know? Oh, I know because he stopped by Wanda's Pokino party first. Way different. He stretches that truth. But, what you gonna do? He's a priest. Can't argue. All right. Age 3, we get now. All right. One of the things that I remember, and I took it to heart that Father taught us, was to pray for the souls in purgatory. I mean, he told us, you got to pray for the souls in purgatory. And I know I heard him say their names. So, kid goes home, I get in my bed and now I start. Louis Forsythe, Brooks Forsythe, Hamilton Darrosh, Charlene Blank Darrosh, Emmanuel St. Pierre Sr. And I'm just going on and on. Oh, and I think his name is Lucian, who lives on 1st Street right next door. I'm telling God, but everybody lives in those 2 crosses on I-10. I keep reading the names when I pass. Not too many people would talk, but I tend to talk a little. So I raised my hand and I said, Father, got a question. He said, we have to pray for the souls in purgatory. I got a lot of questions like, do I have to say everyone's name, full name, maiden name, and married name, and do I have to say like a rosary for this one and a rosary for that? I'm gonna be saying like 750 rosaries. I never really got my answers that day, but you know what happened after that meeting? Every old lady at the book club came up to me and said, hey, can you pray for me when I die? I got a list. Don't hear your names tonight, okay? All right. Now, once we got to know Father Mark pretty well, we learned about the things and the people who really annoy him. Can't talk about any of the people that annoy him. They're not even here anyway, but can't talk about them. But here are a few things that most of us have learned that annoy him. One of the ones is when you're in Mass and, you know, fusses it and raises it and raises it, and that foot's going and that altar server forgets to ring that bell, you can see in his face, he's just really aggravated, okay? So, let's remember that. But you know, how many of you have, tell me, let me see, who do you think the best bell ringer in this parish?
Oh, Neil!
Well, you are, because I was going to say Charlie Dooley. That man can ring that bell. All right. Some other things. He cannot stay when the cell phone goes off in church.
Oh, yeah.
He doesn't like those 5-minute miracle arrivers. That's usually us. And one of his biggest annoyances, though, is chewing gum in church. Well, I got a story about the chewing gum, but it wasn't in church. We invited him, Tiffany invited him, to speak to our religion classes during Lent. I don't know if any of you know what he gave up during Lent. He gave up Diet Coke. Was not a wise decision by far. So he comes to talk to our religion class. First he says, Karen, I don't know what I'm going to talk about. I said, talk about Lent, talk about Jesus' passion. Explain it to him. So he's in there, he's talking to a bunch of teenagers. We know teenagers. They can care less. You can strip naked in front of them, they don't even care. Okay? So he's talking, he's trying to ask them questions, they're not really answering. I'm going on the side to do something, and I think he's arguing with the group over here. Then he's in there talking. Don't listen. But he said, you know, he said a word that rhymes with chicken. And oh boy, he needs some Diet Coke bad. And he goes on again and he said the word that rhymes with chicken again. I said, oh, I'm about to go to Dixie buy a 6-pack of Diet Coke and pour it down his mouth. Then he got to the point where, and we're not even in church, and all the kids are sitting there, and one kid, hey, Susie, it was your child. Where are you? He's talking, and then out the blue he goes, and quit chewing gum in church. And yo, that little boy, he was sitting there, and every kid in the room went, and that little kid went, oh, good dog. Oh, good dog laughing. So I don't think any of those teenagers that ever chewing gum in church get a special chance. He won't be. All right. We also learned many things he likes. Now, I learned tonight about the Cool Whip. I never had Red Whip in my house. Sorry. Oh, well. But he does like pork beans covered over the dead cow. And he likes butter with a lot of things. And I talked about dinner. You see, I told you I skipped it.